this is Victor bringing here a new product review, and this time we are going to make a look to the Warhammer Underworlds Illusory Might Rivals deck. Okay, so this is, it seems that it's a deck for rivals, so I guess it's a preview deck that you can use. So I need to check out, but according to that, this is a previewed deck. So the Universal Rivals deck includes the following cards. So it's a Universal. I'm wondering if you have to play this deck as one deck previewed. So we are going to make a look to this deck, and I'm going to give my opinion. So we'll start with the objective. I always like to start with the objectives. Then we are going to see what is this about. So the objectives, the first one is a duel. Score this end in the third end phase if there are 2 or more surviving friendly fighters, and each of those fighters is holding an objective. So we see that we start holding objectives. I will zoom in a little bit so you can see it better. So 3 points for holding objective with 2 guys at the end of the is not a bad. Okay, and each of those fighters holds. So if you have, this is a handicap, right? If you have 3 survivors, the 3 survivors has to hold an objective. So this can be quite tricky. It's not that easy to score. The next one, score this, but of course it's 3 points. So score this immediately after a friendly fighter's attack action that takes an enemy fighter with 3 or more upgrades out of 5. So you have to take out an enemy fighter with 3 or more upgrades. You score 2 victory points. Again, it's very situational. You need the opponent to have, and normally this will also go to will not to score on the first round, very difficult on the second round, so this is really another third round card. Score this immediately after an activation if 2 or more friendly fighters are in cover access that are not in your territory, or 2 or more friendly fighters hold objectives that are not in your territory. So this is quite interesting. I think with warbands with low number of meters can do this easier. But you have to hold or be uncovered in enemy territory or hold objectives. So with the new season, this should be not impossible. Illusory Nemesis, a power step. Score this immediately after a power step if 1 or more opponents played 1 or more illusory upgrades, or you play the third. So as you will see that this deck have a lot of illusory upgrades. So this is quite can happen quite easily. Okay, you can play for that. Then we have the Illusory Prominence, and I like that you have here the list. So okay, score this end phase if each surviving friendly fighter has no upgrades and there are no more illusions or upgrades in your power. So if you have not played any, so this is really for first turn. First phase. So if you have this at the end of the game, you are not going to score. So these are really one objective that is very easy in the first rounds. It's almost impossible with this deck at the end. Okay, next one, Search. Score this immediately after a friendly fighter's attack action that takes the target out of action if that friendly fighter has 2 or more illusory upgrades. So you have to kill, so you can see this goes once against each other. So if you have one of your fighters with 2 illusory upgrades, you win 1 score point. Another objective for 2 score points, score this enters the phase if there are more friendly fighters in enemy territory than are enemy fighters in enemy territory. So this can be quite easy, right? It depends a lot against which type of deck you're playing. It's asking you to go a little bit aggressive. Masters of Illusion, 1 victory point, 1 glory point. Score this immediately after a power step if each surviving friendly fighter has 1 or more illusory grades. Score this immediately after a power step if each surviving friendly fighter. So you have to put illusories again. This deck goes about playing illusory upgrades. You will see that there are a lot of them in the deck, so it's normal that we have that. So what also meaning that the one that you have not to have any illusory will only happen if happens in the first round. Hybrid, this is one glory point. Score this end of phase if your warband holds a number of objectives equal to the roam, and the number of friendly fighters in cover excess is equal to the roam. So this can be quite easy, to be fair. Remember that you don't know the objective number until you turn them, but the second one is quite easy to do. So at the end of the phase, so if you are in turn 1, only one guy in cover. If you are in turn 2, so this could be, you can plan shadow match. Scored end phase if one or more friendly fighters hold an objective that has number equal to their wounds characteristic, or one or more friendly fighters each have a number of upgrades equal to the wounds characteristic. So again, the second one can be easier to score. Can be any type of upgrades, so you can put illusory upgrades, you can put normal upgrades, you can play for that. And the first one is very situational, right? Turn 1, you will never score it, because so turn 1 you score the second option, right? One or more friendly fighters each have, so you have one fighter with one upgrade, you score this one. It's quite straightforward. I think it's it's friendly fighter, right? Yeah, it's one or more friendly fighters each have, yeah, one. You need only one with one upgrade. Then we have the shock troops. Again, one glory point. Score this immediately after an activation if one or more friendly fighters hold an objective in enemy territory that has a number equal to the number of fighters upgrades. Okay, this is kind of as well quite tricky. Or one or more friendly fighters each have more upgrades than their enemy fighters. Again, quite difficult. This will not happen in the first round. It's more a second or third round type of objective. And this one is quite interesting. Score this is one glory point again. Score this end of the phase if there are X or more friendly fighters within X of an objective, if that is not held by enemy fighter. So you need to, this has to be an objective, you don't need to hold it, just avoid that the enemy is holding that, and you have to have X, where X is that objective number. So imagine that you reveal objective 2, so you need to have 2 of your guys within 2 X's of this objective. This can be, yeah, if you reveal the 5 or the 4 it's difficult, but if you have the 1 or the 2 it's very easy. So it's very random. I think it's quite easy to do, yeah, because you can reveal 2. You have to be very unlucky to have the 4 and 5 in your own. So then what type of cards we have to support these objectives? So let's go for the first one. Pick one, okay? Gambits cannot deal damage. This effect persists until the end of the power step, or push one friendly fighter up to 2 axes into cover. Quite, I would say, I like a lot the 2 ones. I think it's quite a nice plot. Next one, surviving friendly fighters other than your leader have the assassin keyword. You will see that we have more than one assassin here. Assassins is becoming quite a curious keyword. It's appearing in a lot of cards these days. So you have +1 dice to friendly assassins, range 1 attacks. So plus that targets a leader. So you have, and this persists until the end of the phase. So this is really if you want to go for the enemy leader. At the moment you put this gambit ploy and survive other than your leader. So, and then you have to try to kill the enemy leader with one guy that is not your leader. It's not bad, and it's quite situational, to be fair. Play this only if one or more friendly fighters each have 3 or more upgrades. Scatter 3 from one of those fighters' axes and stagger each enemy in each X in the chain. So you need play this if you want. So you need a friendly fighter with 3 or more upgrades, and then you do like a random scatter, and if you touch any enemy you stagger them. So it's not It's quite a strange card. If you want to do an attack and you want to void guard or any other type of, so you stagger them and then you can attack them easier. Illusory Find, reveal cards from the top of your power deck one by one until you reveal an illusory upgrade. Add that card to your hand and return the revealed cards to your power deck and shuffle the deck. So you search for the first illusory in your power deck. And they say that if there is no power decks, if there is not illusory anymore, you just shuffle all the revealed cards. Okay. Phantom Advance, push each friendly fighter with one or more illusory upgrades up to 1x towards the next enemy fighter. Again, a pushing. You need to put illusory. You can see that all these cards play with illusory upgrades. Not all, but a lot of them. Play this when opponent plays a gambit which chooses one or more fighters. If one or more of the chosen fighters are friendly fighters with one or more illusion upgrades, discard one power card. When you do, discard one power card. When you do, those fighters are not chosen. So it's a counter of, but it's very very spicy because you need to use this card plus another power card that you have to discard. It's quite a difficult counter, very situational. Pick one is just if they are going to kill one of your guys, maybe you want to save it or something like that, but it's very situational from my point of view. Next one, pick one or more illusory upgrades in your discard pile, then discard 2 power cards for each illusion upgrade you pick. When you do return the illusion upgrades you pick to your hand. So yeah, you trade. Normally you will trade 3 cards because you have to count this one, this plus 2 more to pick one illusory, or you trade 5 cards for 2. You are going to have 7. It's very strange that you have 7 cards on your hand. Shady Bargain. Give one upgrade to one of your friendly fighters without spending glory points, then pick one opponent. That opponent may, so you put, this used to be a card that without any drawback. Now you do it and the opponent can also do it. The next one is one friendly fighter heal, and you heal 1 if you have 1 upgrade, so 2 or 3 depending on the number of upgrades you have. So it's a healing card, nothing else to say. It's quite good. Quite good because you start with 1 automatically, and today, yeah, the healing potion and this type of things are not existing anymore in champions. And the last plot, choose 2 friendly fighters who each have 1 or more illusion upgrades and not charge tokens, and then you swap them. Okay, and there is no distance, so they don't need to be one next to each other. You just swap 2 of you, but both of them needs illusion upgrades. But you can see that this deck will have, let me check first how many illusions have. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of 10. So you have a lot of illusion upgrades, right? The illusion upgrades all have the same rule, so you can play them without spending glory points. This one gives you a reaction after, and then if the character that have the illusion upgrade, it's deal a damage, is objective of a gambit, or is objective of a gambit, or is dealt a damage, then you break this card and you lose the illusion upgrade. So this is why you have some counters to avoid upgrades, to avoid gambits, to avoid that you're losing the illusion upgrades. But remember, if you have 3 illusion upgrades and then suddenly you receive 1 damage, you lose the 3 of them. So reaction. So and all the illusion upgrades have the same rules. Okay, so this is the rule for illusion, and then they have the benefits. Okay, this one have a reaction after an enemy player's move action. If that enemy fighter is within 1x of this fighter, so if one guy move within 1x of this guy, you do 1 damage. This is just a normal upgrade. This fighter has wounds characteristic of 4 in the rounds 1 and 2 and characteristic of 2 in the round 3, so this is mainly for minions, right? Quite interesting one, eh? You can make a minion quite strong and then it's becoming the same as and normally the same number of wounds. This is the false presence. When this card is broken, if this fighter is on a battlefield, place this fighter at the starting X in your territory. So yeah, so this is like a protection, right? If you are deal damage or the card, because you are going to break the card, you're going to discard it, then you can move your guy to us to starting X. And that's not say that have to be your start, no, in your territory, so have to be one of your starting X. This fighter is on guard, quite straightforward. This is a weapon, 3/3/1, and have +1 if the target is in cover, so it's a shooting attack, not super, but it's not bad. This one is not bad. It's 3/2 stagger, so means that the opponent cannot be in guard against this. It's not a bad. These phantom feats are not bad. It's again an illusion. Illusion, this is quite good. 2 shields directly. Quite good. Another illusion. It's a 2/2/2, so it's a bad. With Cliff, it's quite a good card as well. I think it's quite a good weapon. Especially you can put this on a minion or on a guy that have, and it's quite a nice card. This one is the one that is not an illusion upgrade. Okay, the next two are not illusions. So this is Denizen. I don't know what means Denizen at this moment. So +1 move if you have 1 upgrade, +2 move if you have 2 for upgrades, +3 move. So yeah, this is for if you are piling illusion upgrades in one guy. I would not recommend that. Remember that just if you have another upgrade, you will have 2, right? Because this is an upgrade, right? If it's alone, it's the first condition, so +1 move. But if you have any other upgrade, so normally you have +1 per 2. I don't think +5 will be normal. And this one is +1 damage to range 1, 2 weapons. Okay, attacks action while this fighter has 3 or more upgrades. And you need 3 or more upgrades. So this I don't like it. I don't like it because you need 2 more upgrades to be able to do this card. So this is not a very good card. So you can see, it's all about playing illusions. It's a combination of attack deck and control. I will say it's more a control deck that you play with the illusion upgrades to score points as well. It's an interesting deck, and here I'm wondering if this is a rivals deck. I guess you can play this instead of the deck that comes with the warband, right? So I guess this is more inspired for all these warbands that they don't have their own rivals deck, so you can use this deck in place. I find it interesting. I think it's a nice deck. I'm looking forward to see if I see a FAQ talking about that. But I like a lot this concept of having fixed decks and having more standardized decks and having the typical from the warbands, and then having these special decks that you can play anyway. So that's all for now. So maybe I will test it soon. I'm thinking to test it in the next time I'm joining for a game. Maybe I will test it with one of my warbands to see what happens. So that's all for now. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please let me know what do you think about this. And again, this is a rivals deck. Here you see it's a fixed list of cards, and I guess this is the new trend that Games Workshop maybe is trying to push. So let me know what do you think about these rivals. Let me know if you like it, and as usual, thanks a lot for watching this video, and see you again later. Bye.